Hey, what is up guys? My name is Oleg, this is Mr. Bond. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to do a full review of Boldr Expedition. Boldr is a micro brand that we don't have much experience with. In fact, this is the very first review of any of their watches that we're doing. They reached out to us about a couple of months ago or so and offered to send in one of their watches for the review. We agreed because we love to bring you new and exciting watches. Now, something you should know, we're not keeping this watch. We do have to send it back at the end of this review. That's not going to affect the review in any way. Just want to be transparent. The way we're going to do this video, the first portion is going to be specifications and the usual review stuff. And the second portion of the review, I'm going to share my personal thoughts on the watch after having it with me for about 3 weeks or so. So let's get started with the review portion and talk about the case dimensions first. The watch has a diameter of 41 millimeters. It has 47.5 millimeters from one lug to another, a 20 millimeter lug opening, and it's 14 millimeters thick. And here's what the watch looks like on my 7.5 inch wrist. For the most part, it fits pretty well. I think that 41 millimeter size looks good on this watch. The short lug to lug distance of 47.5 millimeters should fit mid to larger wrists pretty well. If you have a smaller size wrist, just keep in mind that this case does not curve in at all, so it's a flat case. And if you have a smaller wrist, it might look a little awkward on your wrist. The case is made out of 316L stainless steel. It has a pretty good sandblasted finish to it. The sandblasted finish on the watch is executed well. Every single part of the case is finished with a sandblasting, even between the lugs, so that's a good attention to detail. The angles on the case, even though the case has a very nice, interesting shape to it, are not too sharp. Even if you look up close, they all kind of look muted. I like that look quite a bit. The whole watch has this understated, almost muted appearance. The matted dial, the sandblasted finish, the black rubber strap. Of course, this watch is available in a few different colors, but all colors have that understated look. Kind of an outdoorsman type watch, field watch, mountaineering watch. So it'll look great and will function well with these type of tasks. The only part that's not sandblast finished is actually this little engraving at the caseback. So the caseback is a screw down caseback, giving this watch 200 meters of water resistance. The engraving has a polished finish, a nice contrast between the polished and the sandblasted finishes. The engraving is of a shoe print and a maze, a cool metaphor for the purpose of this watch. The two crowns, the one at the 4 o'clock position is a sign crown with the B for Boldr. The one at the 2 o'clock position, that's the crown that actually operates the inner rotating bi-directional bezel. So you unscrew the crown as so, and here you go, you can operate the bezel. The bezel rotation is fairly satisfying. I kind of wish it had a little bit more resistance. It's not too bad, maybe I'm just nitpicking. Once you selected the position you want to leave the bezel at, you simply push on the crown and you screw it back into place. The crown at the 2 o'clock position, the one that operates the inner rotating bezel, has this orange accents on it. Kind of cool, and it matches the orange accents on the tip of the second hand. Gives a pop of color to this muted design of the watch. When you look at the pictures of this watch on Boldr's website, the dial looks white. The watch looks like it has a white dial. However, in person, it doesn't look like that. And that's because the whole dial is loomed. Here's a lume shot for you. So as you can see, everything is loomed except for a few things that are blacked out. So all the hour indices, the 12, 2, 6, 8, and 10 in Arabics, as well as the inner 24-hour counter, all of that is blacked out. The set of hands are kind of skeletonized. So that gives a cool look to the watch, and it's also functional because it comes through the lume. First time I see something like that on a watch, and I like it. However, there are some sacrifices that have to be made with the fully loomed dial. One of those sacrifices is the fact that the text on the dial, the printing on the dial, doesn't look as sharp. Especially if you look at the printing by the 6 o'clock position, where it says Expedition Automatic 200 meters of water resistance. From far away, it looks normal, but as you zoom in, as you look very closely, you can tell that it's slightly off. It's not as sharp, but I guess that's the price you have to pay for a fully loomed dial. There is a date window cutout at the 4 o'clock position. This one has a nice black border around it. I don't know how I feel about it. I actually think without a date window, the watch would look better, but that's just a personal preference. The movement powering this one is a Sellita SW200 movement. We've seen this movement in many micro-brand watches, especially as of late. Did you notice that as well? Feel like more and more micro-brands are now moving away from the Seiko NH35 movement and moving towards that Sellita SW200 movement. I'm not complaining, it's just something that I have observed. So the movement has 26 joules, it's vibrating at 28,800 vibrations per hour, has a power reserve of 38 hours, and this one is fairly accurate. I'm getting within 6 seconds per day. The watch comes on this soft rubber strap. Now I have mixed feelings about the strap. On one hand, it's very good quality, it's very soft, it's custom to Boldr, with the Boldr logo all over the strap. However, my negative is the fact that it's a little bit too grippy. Now, I know it's a weird negative and probably a bit of a nitpick, but when you put this watch on, it's a bit tough to take off. Like the strap doesn't want to move. It grips to itself too tightly, it grips to your wrist too tightly. So although it's comfortable for the most part, it will still pull on a few of your hairs, and it does grip on itself tightly, so taking it off would be a bit of a challenge. The watch comes in this cool package. I quite like this box. I like the material that the box is made out of. It fits the aesthetic of the company and of this watch pretty well. All the little accents on the box match the accents on this watch. I like that attention to detail. The one thing I didn't talk about yet is the price of this watch. And in my opinion, it's the biggest negative. It costs $600 US. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a good quality watch. It's well built. The design will be a bit divisive. I think if you like the design, you will really like it. And if you don't like the design, well, I mean, there's many other watches in this price category. And that's the negative with the price. It's not very competitively priced. There are so many other watches, field watches from Swiss-made brands, from Japanese brands, in this price category, and a lot of them are cheaper than this watch. So yeah, at $600, I think it's a bit much. Maybe lower that price by $150, if possible $200, and at that price point, it's a winner. You would get a complete 2 thumbs up. At this price point, really see, you know, if you love the design, if you love what this watch looks, if you need one of these watches in your collection, I don't think you'll be disappointed with the quality. For me personally, this watch didn't get me too excited. The best way I can put it is this. Whenever I get sent a watch and I have to send it back after the review, a lot of times I feel sad about doing it. I feel like I'm gonna miss the watch and I instantly want to buy that watch. Of course, I can't buy every single watch that I review, otherwise I would just have no money at all. But that's the feeling that I get from a lot of the watches. This watch here, if I'm being honest, doesn't give me that feeling. After I send this watch back, I don't think I'm gonna reminisce about this watch. I don't really think I'm gonna miss it all that much. Now that's just a personal preference. I didn't really personally connect with this timepiece. I appreciate you watching this video until the end. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this review. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. And leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this watch. But also, off topic kind of, but I just need to talk to someone about this. Have you seen the new Corvette 2020, the next year's release of Corvette, the mid-engine one? What do you think about that car? It's so puzzling to me personally, because on one hand, Corvettes are supposed to be this front engine cars. That's what Corvettes are. But on the other hand, this car is so beautiful. That's why it's puzzling to me personally. If any of you care about cars, or if any of you have any thoughts on that Corvette 2020, please let me know. I'm very curious to hear what other people think about that car. By the way, today on my wrist, I'm wearing Zelos Mako 2. I did a full review of this watch. That video can be found on the YouTube channel. I will also link it in the description below. Also, in the description of this video, there is a secret link have a look if you're curious. Just to let you know, we are now selling NATO straps, Bond NATO straps. If you need a good quality NATO strap and want to support the channel at the same time, that's a good way to do it. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had fun. And I'll see you guys next time.